It's Glenda McDonald, the Story Finder, and I want to welcome you to our session today, which is part of the Ontario Library Association Superconference. And I'm now going to pass this over to shortly to our publisher, Tina Crossfield. Just want to let you know that I'm handling the comments. Hello, Irene Fisher. And she says, congratulations, Sherry. So I'm manning the comments on the YouTube screen. If somebody wants to comment, they have to actually be identify themselves to YouTube. You can watch the comments if you're not logged in. If you have a question, we've got another Wendy says hello. Wendy Denabi, Heron's Nest Studio Gallery says hello. So I'm going to step out in a second, but if you have a question for Sherry, please start it with Q or the word question. And now we've got Nancy Beal. We got all kinds of people signing in, and over to Tina.
Hello, and welcome to the Crossfield Publishing booth at the Ontario Library Super Virtual Conference. My name is Tina Crossfield, and I am the publisher. We are live at our booth and on YouTube, and this session is being recorded in case you would like to view it again later. Before we get started with our author, Sheridan Rondeau, I'd like to pass the mic over to Isabel Armiento, who is going to read the land acknowledgement for our independent press.
Thank you, Tina. So many of us are tuning into this conference from different places, but this land acknowledgement is for St. Mary's, Ontario, which is where Crossfield is located. So we'd like to acknowledge with gratitude and respect the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, the Adirondack, and Tainanchadi nations. May we honor their teachings.
Thank you, Isabel. Before we get into the book, by the way, the book is called Dear Braveheart, A Caregiver's Loving Journey Through Alzheimer's Dementia. So the book does have a longer subtitle than what you might be seeing right now. Sheridan Rondeau typed her first novel on a rented typewriter at the unlikely age of 14. She later wrote and illustrated 3 children's cookbooks while teaching cooking classes for children in North Bay, and also penned a news column for Dwight News for the Huntsville Forester in the mid-1980s. Sherry is an active member of the Muskoka Authors Association and Baysville Writers Circle. Fellow writers there brought staunch support for her love story manuscript. 2 selections of her writing appear in the group's anthology, The Long and Short of It. Sherry enjoys public speaking and has acted both as an MC and a presenter at the annual Tall Pines Tales author events in Muskoka and Haliburton. She was selected for the long list of contestants in a 2021 short story online event, and she currently resides in Bracebridge. So without further ado, I am going to pass the mic over to Sherry. Sherry, welcome. And I believe that we're going to begin our presentation with some slides. So while I get that organized, and I've given you an introduction. Okay, we're going to go to my share screen.
Maybe Isabel can have a little chat with Sherry while you're getting.
Yes.
Sure, I can ask one of her questions to start off if we need some time. So I was wondering whether you struggled to decide which stories you should and shouldn't include in this book, and whether it was difficult to be honest about such a difficult and private subject.
Yes, the Dear Braveheart book is divided into 2 parts. I wanted to ease readers into the book with gentleness rather than scare somebody off. Most of the chapters are short and not too hard to swallow. Part 2 gets into the nitty-gritty. So it wasn't difficult, to be honest. It just needed a little soft introduction.
Well, you did a really good job of that. It definitely eased the reader in gently. So that's great. Do we need more time, Tina?
Yes, this
Sure.
worked really well in rehearsal.
We can ask another question now. So why did you decide to have the memoir begin before Sherry and Tony meet? And why did you decide to have the book span so much time instead of start it like during the caregiving?
Well, personally, I feel that everybody needs to grow over time, whatever our circumstances might be. Some widows swear that they'll never marry again. Perhaps their first time around was less than fulfilling. Others thrive on possibility. Wading through the challenges of middle-aged dating is intricate. An optimistic spirit is like rocket fuel. It keeps us up, interested, and interesting.
Yeah, it's a great choice to start it before they meet too, because reading about their love story is so sweet and really makes you love both characters so much. So I really thought that was a great touch. How's it going, Tina?
Oh my gosh.
We just got another question from Laura, which was on an unexpected one. So I'm going to just pop that one up.
All right. So Laura asks whether there's anything that your local library could have done to support you during this journey. Thank you, Laura.
Well, I feel that my library has been very helpful. Most of the staff in the library have retired within the last year, but I know everybody quite well, and the subject of Alzheimer's is kind of universal. Almost everybody knows someone who's been affected by it. So I've had a lot of verbal support, and I've had specific support from Sarah McLean, who's the research librarian and does a lot of extra stuff. So I'm very grateful.
That's so great to hear. Are there more questions? Okay, cool. Considering its heavy topic, Dear Braveheart is surprisingly light and funny at some parts. How did you strike a balance between a serious and humorous tone?
Well, any serious illness, particularly a terminal illness, is pretty hard to get through. I think that we're very uncertain at the outset. We feel like we're on an ice floe just drifting, and we can't even see shore. So finding tidbits of humor is like a ray of sunshine on a gray day. It helps us stay afloat and it boosts our spirits. So we have to find the funny bits.
Thank you so much, and it looks like you can start your presentation now. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Isabel, for being our pinch hitter there. And I'm going to take us off now.
Okay, can you see it? Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so go ahead.
We're all good, Tina.
Okay.
So, hello to everyone from everywhere who's here, joining together. I'm happy to make your acquaintance. This quotation that you see up on your screen is one I've referred to many times in my adult life. It's been like a penny in my pocket. Whatever roadblocks or tall mountains stand in our way, we can rely on ourselves with intention to make good. This cover that Tina is showing gives me particular pleasure. I was thrilled that she chose one of my own photographs, and I hope you'll all agree that it feels poignant and soft around the edges, full of love and lovely memories. When we set out to travel an unmapped route, the thing we most want to carry with us is our experience. It feels impossible to even think of leaving that suitcase full of stuff at the door. Most explorers like to travel light and accumulate what they need along the way. Do your best to dump the baggage and focus on the now. May we have the next slide, please, Tina?
Yes, there's a bit of a delay
Okay,
with the feed. I have the next slide up now.
wonderful.
Okay.
I'd just like everybody to have a chance to read it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes, and next one, please.
Okay, you can read from the slide as well. Sure.
Well, I think everyone's had time, but the underlying theme of personal stories throughout movies and documentaries is love. Some of the dementia books that have been published I found a bit too unappealing at the beginning, because when we start a journey, we have no idea what we're getting into. There are many different types of dementia. Some are age-related, some are incurred with an injury to the head, some as a result of another form of illness. It is my sincere hope that you will find the hints and clues to solving new and confusing puzzles, both thought-provoking and helpful.
Okay.
I don't know if Tina is stuck. Tina, if you're stuck, you'll have to hit refresh. Are you still there, Sherry?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tina's picture is not moving, so I'm wondering if something's gone on with her internet connection. Well, we have another question, so I'm going to bring Isabel on.
Okay.
Sure. Where's the question?
Yeah, I'm just going to put it up 1 second. Okay, there we go. This is our final question.
Sure. So Dear Braveheart is about caregiving, but it's also been called a love story. Sorry. How does the book challenge traditional conceptions? Sorry, there's a lot of echo. How does the book challenge traditional conceptions of what a love story is, and why is this significant?
Good question. Thanks, Isabel. Many of us have seen or heard of examples where loving feelings are not at the forefront of caregiving. There are no guarantees of moonlight and roses. One friend explained to me that she thought in sickness and in health might include things like the flu. How could we ever imagine helping our partner in the bathroom? For me, honoring our vows with a glad heart, growing together, and sharing strengths is love. Champagne and chocolates are just the icing on the cake.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And
you.
yes, keep you can ask things in the chat too if you have more questions for later. But for now, we can pass it to
Hi, I'm back. We had an internet hiccup there. I'm really sorry because I think we didn't quite get to the end of the slides. And so in my absence, I think you've been answering more questions. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we asked the last question that we have available. I'm going to check the feed, and
Yes, we actually
we've
have
got another question.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, what main realization about yourself did you grow to absorb while you wrote this book, Sherry?
Wow, that's not an easy answer by any means. I think that I've always been an adventuresome person and always optimistic about everything, maybe to a fault. And I realized as I was going through the caregiving journey, which included writing the book at the same time, I was becoming stronger and more empowered as I learned information that was going to help me follow the path. So it was a powerful feeling of thinking, wow, I really can do this. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Thanks, David.
Okay. Is there another? There's another question, I believe.
We answered the fourth question while you were gone, Tina.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm really behind. Am I not? Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if we have any more questions from the audience. I'm just checking, but maybe in the meantime,
Here's one. Here's one.
Oh, you got
Here's
another one?
Yes. Okay. How many drafts did you write until you were happy with the end result?
Well, it took a long time. I would say probably 5 altogether before I was brave enough to submit it for consideration. Then there were 2 edits after that.
Mm-hmm.
So in reading it through in its final form, I think I'm happy.
That's great. I've read okay, here's another one. Can you speak to the value of writing groups?
A writing group is the best source of encouragement and support that anybody could dream of. When you have fellow writers, wherever they may be on their own journey, it's terrific to be able to bounce things off them, ask for their opinion, see how what you're reading sits with them by looking around. And it's a growing opportunity as well, because fellow writers sometimes have tremendous suggestions that I might have thought of.
I totally agree. Isabel, would you like to do the next question?
Oh, she got.
Sure.
Sorry, I had to add her back in.
So, where is your book available for purchase, Sherry?
I don't
I
think
believe
Sherry
the
could
book
answer
is-
that one yet.
No, it's not available at this moment, although I anticipate within a month or 6 weeks. And I believe it will be available on Amazon, one source, and the rest I'm not familiar with.
Yes, the book will be available in bookstores and also on Chapters Indigo and, of course, on Amazon. We will also be making an ebook probably after the print issue is out. Then we will have an ebook available for you. So the book is available. You can go to your local bookstore and order it, or come to me at the website, our website, or put order from Chapters Indigo or order from Amazon. There will be a press release that will go out when the firm date is available. And thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Now, I apologize because I may have gotten distracted, but did we already ask Nancy Beale's question about did you find yourself reliving the trauma? Oh, we did. We did answered that. Okay.
Actually, we didn't, and that's a great question, because I wrote the book in little pieces at a specific time that I was going through a part of the journey. When I reread the book in its complete form, it almost felt to me like it was so long ago I could hardly remember, because it has been 8 years in the making. Moments of extreme sadness or futility or hopelessness seem to have faded with time, I must say. And I can now look through it and really get a chuckle from the funny parts, which were very funny, and just a tinge of sadness along the way, but more now a sense of celebration.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, something else that is popped up. Please support your local bookstore. If you can order from the bookstore, it really helps us, small independent presses, to get known. So yes. Okay. There is another question. Isabel,
Yeah.
go over to you.
So Shernette asks, how long did your Braveheart live with Alzheimer's, and which part of the book was more fun to write? So 2 questions in there.
Tony was first diagnosed in 2009, 2 weeks after we'd moved to a new home. And he lived with Alzheimer's until December of 2014. But I have to say I was very blessed, because he died from another life-threatening illness. So I feel I was blessed in that I didn't have to care for him to the very end. He always knew me, maybe some days more than the other, but the part of the book that was most fun to write actually was our beginnings, the love story that brought us to where we became a married couple, and that gave me a good foundation to carry on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions, although, hey, we've still got 39 people watching.
Yeah, it's excellent.
So we know they're
Well,
out there, but I think
this-
maybe it's, I don't know, Tina, are you ready to start winding down, or do you want to,
well, we've got.
we'll leave it open for a minute to see if anybody else has a question.
Okay.
We really appreciate all the questions that we've gotten. Also, while I'm here, I'll just mention that I'm not sure where everybody's from, but I know that I was asking earlier, and we've got Bracebridge and Gravenhurst. You know, that's the lovely thing about having a live virtual event. In our previous session, we had people from Arizona. So, you know, it's just great. Okay, I see I'm going to step out now, and I'm going to pass it back. Oh, we've got another question from Irene Fisher. I'll put that up for, oh, and Irene is, I think she said, from Minden.
All right. So caring for loved ones with Alzheimer's takes a lot of energy. How did you keep your energy up?
I actually have no idea. I think that my sense of optimism, I never felt completely hopeless. I always felt that if I was in a particularly dark hole, that I knew it wouldn't resolve itself, but I would be able to find a way to come back up into the light. Sometimes when you're caring for someone with a terminal illness, you feel like a mole, underground and in the dark. So I think it takes intention and a great sense of purpose to keep your energy up, get your sleep when you can, and try not to sweat the small stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, your story is honestly amazing. So thank you. And we have another question from Stephanie. So what community resources were you able to access, especially since you were new to your home?
Well, actually, the new home was in the same city, and the community resources that we have access to here cover a lot of square miles, and they come from a regional source in the city of Barrie. So we were able to have a case file opened from the Community Care Access Agency, and that involved about a once a month or once every 6 weeks home visit. But it was really flying on one wing and just hoping I'd discover some help along the way. The best one was the Alzheimer's Society itself.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, I think we're nearing the end of our session, and I would like to thank Sheridan very much for being with us and talking to us about her new book. And also thank you to Isabel Armiento for helping us out, and to Glenda, our producer. As we sign off here, thank you to the audience. Thank you for your wonderful questions. And yes, the book will be available in March. Thank you so much.